Okay, everyone, welcome back. We are doing part 2 of lesson 7, your personal style. We left off on bubble 4. In bubble 4, we copy and pasted the text that is on page 24 of your notebook. We copied all this, highlight, copy, and we pasted it in between the body tags. And then we added paragraph tags. All right, that was the last thing we did. We added the paragraph tags around the paragraphs. Now we have to move on to adding heading tags so that the headings look like the headings in here. So the first heading we're going to work with is the main title. If it's the main title of the web page, what heading number should you use? All right, I hope you said H1 or H2. So I'm going to go ahead and go with H1. So go to the line 7. I don't know if we have the same lines, but mine is line 7, popular TV shows. So at the beginning of that, I'm going to type H1. And don't forget to close your heading with a backslash H1. There we go. Looking good. Now we're going to do introduction. Introduction is a heading, but it's a little bit small. So think about your list of heading tags, H1, H2, H3, H4, 5, 6. Which one do you think will work here? 4, 5, or 6. Yeah, so probably 4, 5, or 6. I'm going to start with 5, and we'll see if I want to go bigger or smaller. So I'm going to use H5. Before the word introduction, I'm going to use H5, and I'm going to close that tag, H5. Let me look at the notebook. Sure. I'm going to see what H4 looks like, just to see. It's up to you. I'll stick with H5 because that looks a little bit closer to what's in the notebook, but it really doesn't make too much of a difference. As long as you're using the heading tags, that's what I want to see. So I'm going to stick to H5. And the last thing we're going to do is add headings for our show titles. Netflix, Stranger Things. Netflix on my block, and Hulu, My Hero Academia. All right. So now we need to add a heading for each of these, and it should be the same heading because we want these to be the same size. Let's think of our heading tags. H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which size do you think will work? 2 or 3 maybe? I don't know if you said 2 or 3, but I'm assuming you said 2 or 3. So let's go ahead and try out H2 and let's see how big it is. So I'm going to go to our first show, which is Netflix Stranger Things. At the beginning, I'm going to type H2 and then I'm going to close it with H2. Let's check it out. Let me look at the notebook. Yeah, that looks pretty close. I'm going to keep it at H2. If you want to go with H3, you're more than welcome to go with H3. I like H2 though. But again, it's up to you as long as it's formatted in this way. I'm going to do the same thing for Netflix on my block, H2. Don't forget to close, H2. Great, it's changing it. And the last one, Hulu, My Hero Academia, H2, and close H2. All right, don't forget those backslashes. Remember, the backslash comes first. All right, double check your code. I'm going to scroll to the top and you can pause the video and check your code slowly. I'm going to scroll slowly. Double check that it's, again, you can pause the video. So don't freak out if I'm scrolling too fast. Pause the video. I'm just scrolling through. Everything has a tag. There's no text that doesn't have a tag, right? That's what you have to check. Everything has a tag, paragraph, heading tag, paragraph, heading tag, paragraph, and then we close. All right, it looks like we are done with bubble 4. So go ahead and click finish. And now we're going to check out bubble 5. Let's read the instructions in our notebook. Bubble 5, page 25. This is the last page. Bubble 5, time to style the web page. Click on the style.css file located on the left side of your Code Studio screen. Add code to change 3 properties of the web page. Some properties you can change include color, size, alignment, font. The picture below shows the code structure you should use for your rule. All right, so remember we have our selector first, the curly brace, and the closed curly brace. And then in between you have your property that you're changing and the value that you're giving it. And don't forget the colon and the semicolon. Remember, you can change multiple properties of a selector. For example, if you want to change the color and size of the paragraph elements in the web page, you can use the code below. So this is an example here. If you want to change the size and the color of the paragraph, you would type the code that I'm showing you here on the screen in your notebook. Click here to access the list of CSS properties you can change. So if you forgot, oh, how do I change the color? How do I change the font family? How do I change the alignment? You can click on the document and that'll open you up to another table with those structures. All right, so here we have how you change the color, the font size, the alignment, the family, the font family, and the background of your web page. We've learned a few others along the way, so I'll be adding those. If you want to use some of the other ones that you've learned through the challenges or the optional additional bubbles, then you can use those. But these are some of the basic ones: color, size, alignment, font family, and background. Let's go back to our Code Studio. On Bubble 5, you're going to go ahead and add, now that you have everything set up, you're going to go to style.css, and this is where you're going to add 3 different rule sets. All right, you're going to change the way that 3 different things look on your page. One of the things might be your background. One of the things might be your paragraph. Maybe you want to change the size of the paragraph. Maybe you want to change the color of the main title and the color of the headings. Maybe you want to change the font of the headings. It's up to you what 3 changes you're going to make. Right now, I'm going to make 1 change, and then I'm going to leave the rest to you. Okay, I'm going to change the font family of the titles of the shows. So first I need to figure out what heading tag is that. That's going to be the H2 tag. All right, H2, H2. So that's what I need to change. H2. I'm going to go to my style.css file, right? That's where we do all the styling. H2, open curly brace, enter, enter, close curly brace. And I want to change the font family. And I would like to go with fantasy. So I went with fantasy, and don't forget that semicolon. You are welcome to make the same change that I did. You can change the font that I used, or you're welcome to make other changes that you want to make. But I've made 1 change so far. Now you're going to make 2 more changes. In the end, you should have 3 total changes. You could change the color as well here, right? Color, right? That could be another thing that you change. Or maybe you can change the paragraph, right? Instead of other stuff, you can change the color of the paragraph, or you can change the font size of the paragraph, right? These are just some different things that you can change. Maybe you want to change the color of the main title, right? H1. Maybe you want to change the color of the title, blue, or whatever, right? I'm just giving you examples. I know I'm typing a little fast. It's so that you can kind of think of your own. I don't want you to copy these next few that I'm kind of giving you as examples. I want you to come up with your own creative style of formatting this web page, right? So far, I only made 1 change. Your task is to make 2 more changes, or 3 changes if you don't want to change what I changed, right? In the end, you need to have 3 changes to your web page, right? 3 changes to your web page. You can also change the background. Maybe you want it to be blue. Oops. I forgot everything else. Wait a second. I need to look at my CSS code structure so I can see. I might have to go back because I'm not seeing it happen. Blue. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to go back to, I'm trying to think. Let me double check lesson 6 really quickly. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Oops, I should just refresh and save this work. Okay, bubble 6. I just want to check the background stuff because I forgot. I can't think of it. I'm typing something wrong. Oh, body. Okay. That's what I'm forgetting. So in order to change the background, what you're changing is the body of the web page. So I'm just going to copy this code from bubble 10 on lesson 6. I'm just going to copy that code and I'm going to paste it into the current web page that I'm on lesson 7. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in there. Now I have the code to change the background. So say I want that to be red, that's going to, ooh, that is very bright. It's going to change it to red. If I want it to be blue or Indian red, I don't know what it's called, right? That might be a little better. Or you can just keep it white. That's up to you, right? But that's another possible thing that you can change, the background color, right? And there's the code for, in order for you to do that. So if I do Indian red, right, I have 2 changes so far. I changed the font, I changed the background color. I would need to add 1 more change, right? But again, up to you what changes you want to make. All right, I'm going to leave that there. And that's it for bubble 5. Once you finish bubble 5, make sure you click finish. I'm not finished with bubble 5, but once you finish bubble 5, click finish. That's going to take you to bubble 6. Let's take a look at the instructions for bubble 6. Bubble 6, review the page you created. Check that the HTML tags are structured. Structuring the content, is my face in the way a little bit? Structuring the content correctly and the CSS rule sets are styling the web page how you want. Make sure your code is organized, readable, and free of bugs. When you are done, click finish. So in bubble 6, you're just editing, you're just finalizing everything, making sure, oops, that's the wrong lesson. Making sure that everything looks good, all right? It's really important for your stuff to be organized so that it's easy for me to follow through your code. If you have everything all put together running in like a sentence, like all the lines of tags are put together and everything's just, there's no space between, there's no organization, it's hard to follow through, right? It looks more complicated than it really is. So remember to have those spaces in between different sections of your code so that it's better organized and easy to follow through, right? Also in the style.css, have those spaces in between, organize it. And once you finish and you're satisfied, you made those 3 changes, your web page looks good, you don't have any pink code anywhere, then you can go ahead and click finish on the lesson and you're done with lesson 7. All right, so remember, I will be looking at bubble 6, which is linked to bubble 4 and 5. I will be looking at bubble 6 to give you a grade for this lesson. If you get stuck or if you have any questions, message me on Schoology, let me know, and I will try to help you out. All right, goodbye, everybody. I'll see you in class. Or, yeah, I guess I'll see you in class. Goodbye, everyone.